Hello my friends, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video, which is going to be a best of holiday 2021. This is my holiday release roundup. Those products that I really liked above and beyond what I thought I was going to like. And I feel like there wasn't as much this year, but what I do have here was really good. So if you're interested in seeing what holiday products I feel are the best for this season, for this year, then just keep on watching. So face palettes seem to be the order of the day. I think those are what stood out the most to me this season. I feel like the face palettes that released were just some of the best that we've seen in a very long time, and I'm excited to show those to you. So let's start off with Hourglass. These are palettes I was not planning on picking up. When I first saw them, I thought they looked repetitive. I was like, I don't need them. And then I saw that they were releasing a deeper version, which all of mine are the obviously lighter versions because that's all they've come out with. So I was highly intrigued to pick up the deeper version. Come to find out, it comes in like a tin packaging, which I like very much. And then on the inside, this particular one is beautiful because it's got those deeper type of blushes, those more stand out type of shades that we haven't seen from Hourglass honestly ever. And for my skin tone, I can make this palette work. So if you are light to light medium, then with a light hand, this will actually work for you. But the thing about it is I liked this palette so much that I ended up picking up the light one as well. And I love that one too. So for Hourglass being a very repetitive brand for holiday, this is actually very much worth your time. Now, I will say the light version has the powder that a lot of people didn't like. I think it's the Infinity powder. I actually have that in its full size, and I like it a lot because I don't mind a good luminous finish to my powder, which a lot of people don't like. But just keep in mind that is in the light palette, and it does take up the entire full, this side of the palette, it's that powder. So the bronzers are beautiful. The one in this one is new, and I am a huge fan of the Hourglass bronzers. And then here is the highlight, which I accidentally stuck the finger that I had blush on into the highlight. So it is what it is. Here's what it looks like. This looks a little better. So it looks deep, but on my skin tone, I can make it work. So again, it's definitely, look how beautiful that finish is. Hourglass is known for quality products, and this was actually very much worth it. So much so that it is one of my favorite releases for this holiday season. Okay, the next face palette that we're gonna talk about, and I still have this in its box because I didn't know if I was gonna keep the box or not. I don't think I am. And this is the Pat McGrath blush palette. So this is the Amber Allure version. There are two. I did not pick up the lighter version because I already owned those blushes that are in that palette, as well as the highlights. So in this one, I didn't own either blush, and this is a, I believe, new highlight. It's called Venus Nectar. It comes with Love Struck and Paradise Venus as for the blushes. Now, they look deep in the pan, but again, once you start putting them on the face, they work for a myriad of skin tones. So don't let this intimidate you, but you already know that the Pat McGrath blush formula is one of my very favorite blush formulas of life. So for me, it was no surprise that I ended up loving these blushes, but the tones as well, because they're very winter, very fall, and I didn't already own them, which always is a plus. And here is the highlight. Again, the highlight being more geared, I believe, towards a deeper skin tone. However, it works just fine on me. So here is that little trio there. And so again, I want to say these are, I think they are 50. Don't quote me on that. I will link it below. But if you have not checked these out, if you don't own Pat McGrath blushes, if you don't own the shades in these, then I highly suggest checking them out. They're just so worth it, and I'm glad she did that. So let's talk about another face palette. This is a blush palette, and it's the Patrick Ta, the Major Headlines blush palette. This was such a score for me. I love the formula, which going into it, I knew I was going to love it. And the shades are actually very versatile. So you've got like the baby dusty pink, then you've got more of a pink coral, and then you've got a deeper rose. And so it's just perfect because it can suit multiple skin tones. I like the variety. I like that they're different from what I have in my Patrick Ta collection. And it's just overall, I think, a great deal or a great value for the shades that you get. Obviously, or the amount of product you're getting. Obviously, these are smaller than what you would get in a full size, but quite frankly, I will never go through my full sizes of these. So this is perfect. I would much rather have a variety in a one-stop shop with smaller pans of product than have multiple full sizes that I'm never gonna get through. So, and then of course it has the little flap to keep your cream products safe. And this has been in and out of stock since it released, but I think it's kind of holding steady at this point. And is completely worth it. I think it was $59. I'm so glad he released that. Okay, let's see. I think this is the last face palette. And this is the Natasha Denona Glam face palette. Again, just like the Hourglass, I did not think I was gonna pick these up, and I didn't think I was going to like them. And I was so wrong, and I feel like that's part of the fun of trying new makeup, is sometimes you think you're absolutely not gonna like it, and then come to find out it's one of the best things you've ever tried. So I love the packaging. I mean, yes, it gets all the fingerprints on it as I do all this. I love, as other people have said, I love the rounded edges. That makes it really nice. And then this is absolute perfection. The two metallics in this palette, I don't think will ever come close to any of the metallics in my collection. And I feel like they're very hard. They're gonna be very big shoes to fill because these are so bright. I've never had a metallic like this. So whatever formula she used, I hope she comes out with more of these, like an actual eyeshadow palette with more shades, because this is a stunning formula. It's absolutely high wattage. It's beautiful. The mattes, of course, perform just as beautifully as mattes in her regular palettes. And then the face products, which I've already talked about over the course of the last couple of videos, but for purposes of this video, I will tell you that the blush is beautiful in that it does take a little bit of layering, but it gives a beautiful flush. They look deep in the pan, and they're actually not that bad. And these blushes give a very airbrush look to the skin. It just looks smooth. I thought the blush was cream, but it almost feels like cream powder. I don't know how to describe it to you. It's very stiff, but it's lovely. So even the deep one works on my skin tone, just so that you know. And then the highlight also, I love it at this point. Upon first application, first impression, I wasn't a fan. It went on as a very powdery layer on my skin, but literally 30 minutes went by and it had just melted in and it looked part of my skin. It's just beautiful. And it's also very high wattage. So just so that you're aware. Anyways, these are pricey, but they're worth every penny. So there is that. Okay, so let's talk about we're done with the face palettes. Let's talk about another face product. This is a single, and it's the Pat McGrath highlighter that was released for the holiday collection. It's called Lunar Nude. So it's in gold packaging. The back is black. It's very lovely, very luxe. I'm not a fan of all the embellishment. I feel like this is a little much for me, but the intensity of this highlighter is everything, and this is Pat's best highlight yet. So I have used this quite a bit. I'm actually wearing down this side of the embellishment. I use one side and I keep working at it, and it's starting to dull down a little bit. So again, very high wattage. Her best one is absolutely beautiful. It doesn't sit like a layer on top of the skin. It just goes on nicely, and you can build it for a couple of layers, and it will give you the holiday beaming that you're looking for. So this is highly expensive. I think it was like $60 for a highlight. It has now since come to Sephora, in case you haven't wanted to take the plunge on the Pat website, but definitely one of the best products released for this holiday season, and I was super impressed with that one. So moving into a hair product, which if you already watched my Sephora haul follow-up, think, then you know that this worked out amazingly for me. And this is not anything new in that this is the first year they've done this set. They actually released it last year as well. And it is a Olaplex set of the number 3, the shampoo, conditioner, and the bonding oil, which makes it an amazing value if you haven't, especially if you haven't tried any of these products. Now, I'm a fan of the number 3. I was almost out, so I knew I wanted to pick up a new bottle, and it just so happened that it was perfect to pick up this set because I wanted to try the shampoo and conditioner. I already own also the bonding oil, and I like it. I don't love it. If you go with too much, it will make your hair greasy very, very quickly, and I have dry hair, so that tells you something. But I have to say, after using the shampoo and conditioner, which yes, I repackaged all of this for purposes of these videos, but for using the shampoo and conditioner, I was blown away. My hair feels, literally after just a couple of uses, feels, wow, so much stronger. I cannot believe that a shampoo and conditioner would do that to my hair. So one thing to consider if you have not used this, and I mentioned this in my last video, is that the shampoo lathers very quickly. So I used way too much. I didn't need to use so much. So a little bit will actually go a long way, and these bottles may seem small, but given that it lathers so much and I need less, I'm gonna end up not going through it as fast. So definitely, if you can pick this up, do it. Now, I don't think it's available online anymore. I think it sold out during the sale, but I do know that some stores still have it. So if you've been wanting to try this, this is one of the biggest recommendations I would make to you. Don't sleep on this one. This one's a good one. And next year when they do that set, I can already tell you I will be buying another one. So let's move into, let's see, I've got just a handful more products as I drop things on the floor. So this aesthetic, like this presentation, is a little bit, I don't know, I'm not a fan. But anyways, I'm not going to talk about the packaging because it's not about that. So I was going to say Hourglass. Drunk Elephant. They come out with sets every year, and I've liked the packaging in prior years better. But this year, I feel like the set I would go for the product that I need to, you know, buy a replenishment of, this is the best set so far. So this particular set was, I want to say, about $88, and I did have the discount, but my Sukari Baby Facial is on its very last legs. I love this product. It leaves my skin so smooth, so soft, but so clear looking. Like, I don't suffer from a lot of acne, but even at that, you guys know it's hard to describe, but you know when you're having a good skin day, and this gives me good skin days. It's just a brightness and a just clear looking skin. I don't know how else to put it. But this on its own is, I want to say, almost $90. Maybe it's about $80. But literally for $88, you get the full size of the baby facial and the full size of the Lala Retro whipped cream, which I have been wanting to try. Look at this. Full size. So I could not believe that both of these full sizes were in one set for practically the price of the baby facial. So if you are in the market, this is an amazing set. Again, I don't recall them having as good a set in prior years. I may be just not remembering correctly, but definitely one of the best releases for holiday beauty of 2021. Okay, we're down to the last 3 items, and they are all eyeshadow palettes. Surprise, surprise. You guys will know how I feel about these based on recent videos pretty much. So I won't spend too much time, but again, purpose of this video, I do want to tell you, the Danessa Myricks. Now, I know this is not available at this time. I have heard she's trying to replenish more. It's kind of been one of those things where I think it was released in smaller batches. Anyways, but if you've had your eye on this, I believe she's coming back out with it. But this is like the perfect time to tell you that if you do have your eye on it, you need it. Once that re-releases, you need to snag it when you can. So this is the most out there palette I have. And what I mean by that is I have no shades like this in my collection. The Duo and Trio Chrome finish to these is absolutely mind-blowing. I love how soft they are. Like, if you touch them with your finger, it's absolute silk. I mean, I don't have any other, nothing as silky feeling as these. Like, the first time I went in, I was like, this is so soft. And then the finish is absolutely incredible. Like, literally, I can see the shift from left to right, and it is so, there's so much dimension to these. And yes, it is a very hefty price tag, but honestly, for the unique factor, for the quality, and Danessa Myricks is a brand that's kind of hit or miss for me. This one was absolute perfection. It does come with a pressed glitter that is also very stunning, but if you are against pressed glitters, know that there's just one. That wasn't a very good swatch. There we go. But again, very, very dimensional. It's like you could dive right in there and there would be layers and layers to go. So definitely, if you can get your hands on this, I would highly recommend. Now I've got glitter on my hands that I'm not gonna be able to get off. Anyways, so this was one of the most standout products for holiday 2021. And again, wouldn't typically recommend something that expensive, but you know, you got to get your hands on that one. Let's see, the Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey Mega Palette. This is a no-brainer. This one's a given as far as best of holiday. Last year, same thing. I hope she keeps coming out with these every year because they are a perfect way to start like dipping your toes into the brand if you have not already, because for the price point, you get quite a bit of eyeshadows, and that's typically not the case. You guys know this. And so this is the perfect way to kind of start playing around with the brand, see if you like it, see if it's for you. But if you're like me and you're already a fan of the brand, it's a perfect way to add different shades from what she's already come out with into our collection. Like this green, I don't have anything like that from her. So it's like just perfect to keep adding, and the selection is like there's a lot going on here, so I have a lot to choose from. So these particular palettes I want to say are $78, but again, given the fact that like a 10-pan luxury palette by the brand is $125, it makes it a little bit more appealing to try in this sense. And she doesn't skimp on quality when it comes to these palettes. She puts, I feel like, every ounce of quality that are in her normal palettes, she puts in these. Now, it's not going to have those standout shades. I forget what they're even called, but the sparkly ones that she's known for, those you won't find in here. But again, for the price point, to have all these shades, an amazing quality, it's just perfect. And I would highly, highly recommend that one. I think I did last year too. Okay, so last product, and again, you will recognize this from a prior video recently, is the BH Cosmetics Litless palette. So for $29, this is the best holiday palette I have come across in recent years that I can remember, quite frankly, if not ever. This is, for the price point, I'm blown away by the quality, by the intensity, and everything you need for a holiday look is in this palette. So everything from greens to reds to golds to blues. And if you're like me and you like very metallic, sparkly shades, this palette has that. So I think it's a departure from last year's. I want to say last year's was a little grungier. I did not pick that one up, but there's only one pressed glitter, again, in case pressed glitters aren't your thing. And there are a ton of metallic party type of shades in this palette. And you can use your Ulta coupon, so it ends up being less than $29. But listen, for this price point, it does not get better than this. I've already done a video, a dedicated video on this palette. Like this almost looks like the shiny Danessa Myricks that I just showed you. So definitely stunning. I highly recommend this one for the price point. It can't be beaten. It's probably one of the things I would most recommend to you. It's one of the things I would say is one of the very best in this holiday beauty release time period. So if you have been on the hunt for that perfect holiday palette, this is it. Your local Ulta probably has them. Before I let you go, I just want to give you a very quick verse of the day to motivate you, encourage you, and to tell you that Jesus loves you. Today's comes from Psalm 9:10, and it says, "Those who know your name will trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you." He is very, very amazing, and it is my prayer that if you don't already know him as your Lord and Savior, that he would make himself very real to you, that your heart would feel a peace and a love that it has never felt before, and that you would know it's him who's calling your name. All right, friends. Well, until the next one, stay safe and stay well. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending some time with me. I'll see you soon. Bye.